Thank you.
Commissioner Wessel.
Thank you, and Senator Talent, I agree with your line of questioning and the desire to fulfill this, because I'm left feeling somewhat hopeless today, I hate to say, by the testimony of the two of you that American values, American objectives put us at a competitive disadvantage with China, essentially. And having worked much of my life on labor rights and many of the other issues, I question whether we can compete against China, which simply wants to sustain its power and achieve goals with Taiwan, et cetera. And there is not a values agenda that, extends beyond that. And if Latin America and elsewhere views our values as costs, as impediments, as limitations, again, that makes me feel rather hopeless. So like Jim, I'd like to find, ideas from each of you on tools that can, put the values agenda more, make it a more powerful tool. If you have any, I'm not suggesting they look like us, in the broadest sense, but rather, again, in Colombia, since I worked on the murders of trade unionists there, et cetera, that we seek partners where there's progress towards certain goals, and that we not start, as I think you're saying, with identifying all the problems, but identify the opportunities and then certain goals we have to share. But I also see a China out there that is willing to, again, bid away, auction away much that undermines many of the things that we hold dear, and its power that has advanced since its accession to the WTO and accelerated in past years undermines our ability to achieve common goals, I think, even more. This is probably part of a much longer discussion, which hopefully we will have, since I see my time has expired.
Just to
Go on.
complement,
Yes.
one of the point that I want to raise is that values, they should not be a condition. They should be a desire. Latin Americans, they learn U.S. values through the movies, through Hollywood. And those values, in many ways, they are aspirations, not for decision makers, but sometimes for young individuals who actually want to come here. But they are not triggers for policy making or structural changes. When you look at, when you Google the list of universities in the Middle East, you see a bunch of US university campuses there. How many do you see in Latin America? Why Latin America? When was the last time that Latin America had a permanent special envoy for the region? Not to go there and talk about illegal immigration or narcotics, but to go there and say, hey, I'm here, what can we do? Especially in a society that is personalistic. They like to see embodied power in a person. Because this is the sentiment that I'm talking to the boss, or I'm talking to someone who decides. So these are small gestures and small actions that can go a long way. There are negotiations from Tsinghua University to open partnerships and campuses in Latin American cities. And it's astonishing that this could happen before Georgetown or before Johns Hopkins or before NYU. It's astonishing. So these are the sort of details that perhaps might seem too simplistic for such a strong and detailed and studious commissions such as this. But as Professor Dawson said, this is the grain of sand that makes the difference. And this is the grain of sand to you guys that actually are huge rocks in the jar back in Latin America. So it's a win-win situation.
Thank you.
Thank you.